My name is Gayu Lewis. I'm a board certified integrative nutrition, health, and menopause coach, and extremely passionate about empowering women to thrive through midlife. And that's what I do with my corporate coaching, with my one to one coaching, and in general, talking about life.
Thanks for coming. So, our first question for today. Gail, please share a decision that truly changed your life.
I have to take you back a few years, 2022 to be precise. Uh, I was in complete burnout. I was part of a very big project in Dubai. I was part of the Expo 2020 Dubai, which I joined the company in 2018. I was the corporate head, the commercial head for the team. It was an amazing opportunity, worked with wonderful people, but there was a burnout that was there in 2022, and I didn't even recognize that. I always ate well, I always worked out, but I think the mindfulness aspect in my life didn't exist. And that was the moment when I was almost in borderline depression, which made me take a decision that, oh, this is not what you should do, Gayu. You got to take, pause, reset your life, and now I've actually found the purpose. So for me, that moment in life was the very, very important moment in my life.
Wow, thank you so much. And for people who are at the crow themselves now, what advice would you give to take big, bold decisions and maybe some changes in their lives?
Very simple. I'll say, listen to your body. I think our body is so intelligent. It gives us a lot of clues and cues, and it makes noises. But I think we have these big headphones, noise canceling headphones that we wear, that we don't want to listen to our body signals. And with a lot of stress around us, we all are running to achieve a lot of things in life. We tend to ignore our health, and I think that is very key for anyone, because tomorrow all the money that you make might stay, but you might not be there. That is harsh reality of life. So my advice would be, start listening to what your body is telling you.
Wow, very, very impressive. Thanks so much for this insightful, inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was first part of our interview, and now it will be votes on CROWCH. So, what's the strongest lifestyle habit for managing menopause naturally?
I have to say, balanced anti-inflammatory diet.
Or maybe consistent exercise routine? Why?
Exercise is important, but looking at your food is even more critical. So I would say, looking at because our body goes through a lot of inflammation because of the estrogen and the hormonal imbalance that happens. So I think the first point would be a balanced anti-inflammatory diet.
Yeah, 58% agree with you. And so, balance anti-inflammatory diet or mindfulness or meditation practice.
You got me there. I would say equal of both.
Yeah,
Uh, if I've got an answer, I would say balanced anti-inflammatory diet again.
65% agree with you. So, diet still or journaling emotional check-ins?
Still diet.
Still diet. Yeah, diet first. Wow, diet or
Mm,
prioritize sleep.
Still diet. Because I think if this is balanced, it'll help with other stuff.
Okay.
But again, I'll stay with the diet.
And about hydration, it's also important.
Yeah, it's very important, but like I said, I think if you're able to manage the food, it's a very big factor. And I think kind of hydration somewhere falls in that category.
Yeah, diet. And the last one is diet or mental health based on setting clear boundaries.
Diet.
That
Again, you
again,
know,
diet.
yeah, the reason is because diet is important, agreed, and the rest of the stuff are equally critical. Like I'm saying, just focusing on food alone will not help you balance menopause or perimenopause issues. But uh, it plays a very big part because once you're able to manage the inflammation in the body, rest of the stuff kind of will work better.
Okay, let's comment and see our statistics. Our first place and the most important thing is balanced anti-inflammatory diet. The second one is setting clear boundaries, psychological comfort, and psychological safety. Then, consistent exercise and feed. Which nutrition habit best supports your hormones right now? First, protein with every meal to support mood or balance with the estrogen meals.
Protein is very crucial because we lose muscle as we age. So I always say about 30 grams of protein per meal in general, which is basically 2 grams of protein per body weight. But saying I'll have to probably go towards the phytoestrogen meals a balanced because estrogen is one of our very key hormone for women in general. And if that imbalance can be managed through food, I would say phytoestrogens is one of the key sources, like tofu, tempeh, they're flax seeds. They've got like phytoestrogens, which mimic the body's natural estrogen. So for me, as a specialized menopause coach, I believe in both. You have to have the protein, but you can get the protein with the phytoestrogen through tofu. So my vote would be for balanced phytoestrogen meals.
Yeah.
I think this question or this answer for me is a no-brainer. Because the ultra processed food, like the name says, the food goes through a lot of processes, and most of the ultra processed food end up having high sugars in them, high saturated fats in them, and these are one of the main triggers for inflammation in the body. And we need to manage inflammation for hormone, to function very well. So irrespective of whichever phase of life we are in, we have to reduce ultra processed food. So again, my vote would be for eating a more balanced meal with plant based nutrients that come in, because apart from the phytoestrogen, you get a lot more of the plant nutrients, the micronutrients that you get. So yeah, vote is for balanced phytoestrogen meals.
Yeah. The third one, fasting. The very fashionable fasting, skipping meals, or still balance phytoestrogen meals.
Okay, now this is I have to say, this question is really very tricky. I'll tell you something. I am a big believer in intermittent fasting. Yeah. I personally eat 2 meals a day. I end up doing 16-hour fasting irrespective. Sometimes I do 32 hours. It all depends on which part, where in my menstrual cycle I am in. But anyways, I believe in intermittent fasting because it works for me. But but there are a lot of people for who intermittent fasting does not work. And there's this whole theory behind when women are in their perimenopause years, because the hormonal imbalance is already very high, eating or skipping meals or not feeding yourself can cause more stress in the body, so more cortisol production. So it is something that is generally not suggested for women because of the hormonal imbalance. So if the whole thing is to which nutrition best supports your hormones right now, I mean, the vote will go for balanced phytoestrogen meals as what the science would say. But again, health is very bio-individual. So you have to see what works for you. So like I said, I am 42 years old and I still do intermittent fasting and it works for me. So depending on how many people have answered this question, it depends whether they follow it or it's a new thing that they're trying and it's not working for them. So if there is a vote that I have to say, uh, which best support, I would say is skipping meals or fasting will help you. That's my belief. But I'm sure people have gone in for a balanced phytoestrogen meal.
Yeah. So, what about adaptogenic? Or still first go balanced with estrogen meals?
I am a certified naturopathic practitioner as well. And I am a big believer in adaptogens like ashwagandha. There is the maca. Uh, there is black cohosh, which is widely studied for perimenopause issues, specifically because it literally mimics the body's estrogen. There's a lot of studies on it, but adaptogens um, have to be taken with in consultation with a naturopathic practitioner or a doctor, because it's a herb, it's a natural herb. There could be side effects with it. Like black cohosh is never given to somebody who has a family history of taking blood thinners, so it's a no no for them. But if you didn't know that and you just saw it on social media and you took it, you could have a reaction to it. So that way it's very important to understand. I'm saying that again, these are amazing supplements to take, but nothing can compromise a meal. So food will still, your biggest support has to come from the food that you eat. Adaptogens can support you or they can supplement you, what supplements are supposed to do, but they cannot replace real food. So I, like I said, I am a naturopathic practitioner. I do take adaptogens in my own, as part of my own routine, but I will never compromise that with a meal. So my vote again is for balanced phytoestrogen meal.
Thank you. So, number 5, taking random multivitamins, which a lot of people do, or still balance with the estrogen meals.
Yeah, like going back to what I said, right? Food is where you can get all your resources from. Then there is this whole theory right now that the soil, quality is depleting. So, the same tomato that you ate few years ago, the same micronutrients are not there in the current tomato that you eat. So that's a question saying that supplements or multivitamins are supposed to supplement if there is a deficiency. So I always tell people, before you take any random supplement, you have to test yourself. You only supplement if you are deficient. Lot of people, they see online, they see some influencer saying, hey, I took this works wonders, and they take the supplement. They don't even understand why, what. So always check your blood levels. In terms, if there is a deficiency, then only supplement. If the levels are fine, why do you want to take a random tablet, and that to spend money? These supplements are expensive, and they don't even have it is not regulated. So there's nobody checking whether this is the exact amount of magnesium, zinc, or whatever is there in that. So whatever they put as claim outside, like a billboard, you look at it and you buy. So, and specifically, like I said, I'm in the menopause industry. If you put meno in front of any supplement, women are going crazy and they buy it because they're suffering from a lot of other side effects. So they just think that this might just help me. So multivitamins or supplements are essential if only you are deficient, because there is the whole um the whole thing behind overdosing, which nobody understands. So overtaking of more intake of zinc or iron could have a lot of effects on your body. So be mindful, don't be stupid.
Yeah. So, our voting statistics. Our winner is
Mm.
balanced with the estrogen meals. The most important thing. Then proteins with every meal. Then adaptogenic smoothies, which works in good combination with all previous things. So, anyhow, our question is, what the most misleading myth about supplements people still believe? A lot. So, first, natural means safe. The second one, all supplements are fully regulated.
I think in this both are absolutely true. I think it's a 50 on a 50, because people think that if it's natural, that means it's safe. I can take anything. Like I said, with the whole adaptogens as well. They're in the natural side of life, but they could be harmful to you. So that also does not mean it's safe. You've got to see whether it works for you. And what does natural literally mean? Because there is no regulation on supplements. So, it kind of leads on to the other side. Like I said, there is no regulation at all. And I don't think people are aware of that. So I'm quite torn in terms of what could be the most misleading myth. Uh, I peop I think natural means safe would be what people would believe, because I don't think people understand the whole regulation bit fully.
Yeah. Yeah. So, natural
Mm.
means safe, natural means safe, or what works for what fits all.
Um, this is an amazing question. I'll tell you why. Because people see people on social media, and someone says, I did this diet or I took this and it worked for me. And they think that if it worked for her, it should work for me and it should work for somebody else sitting next to me. So, and they get influenced, right? So I have to say, in this case, the myth is 100% what works for one works for all, thanks to the influence that we get based on what we see on social media. So I think that's a very big myth, and that needs to be communicated as loud as possible for people to understand that that is not true. So, you are individual, and your health is completely different from anybody else.
What works for one works for all. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very misleading. Yeah.
Oh, what people who agreed with me?
Taking supplements with meds is really safe and still stay on what works for one works for all.
See, I explained that what works for one works for all, but I think the whole supplement can work. There's always a timing for every supplement, right? You can't take a, like, for example, I wouldn't take an ashwagandha in the morning, or I wouldn't take a magnesium glycinate in the morning, because it's going to suppress my nervous system down. I would take that in the night so that it actually calms me down and I can go to sleep. Um, so there's a timing for every supplement, and then there is an interaction that it can have with other supplements. So I don't think that statement that taking supplements with meds is always safe, the right statement. But I would say that in this case, but the cross thing, the interference of the medicine, I unless until you eat it and it causes any effect to you, you will not realize. I think my vote here in this statement, I would still be very loud for what works for one works for all as the myth, because I think I want to speak as much as possible on misting this, you know, busting this myth for people, that
Yeah.
please stay away from this myth.
48% agree. And so, more is always better. And still, what works for one works for all.
I have to talk about this. More is always better. I have this friend of mine. She used to take about 8 or 9 supplements a day. Like, she used to have one green pill, but she used to be like, no, these are all organic, they're healthy. I just take them. And her hand used, like, literally full. And plus, she used to have some powders and stuff like that. And she used to have, and I tell people that that is not, and just because you take a supplement does not mean your body absorbs that quantity. So, you've got to be very mindful on the absorption of that particular supplement in your body. So just because you take 20 pills doesn't mean that your body will absorb all of that. So that is absolutely a ridiculous statement with people, that more is always better. It's, I mean, you, like I said, the overdosing here is a concern for me,
Yeah.
because people just randomly take supplements. It doesn't really work. So that, if in this case, I would say that more is always better is a myth that needs to be broken.
Yeah, the most misleading. 50% agree. So, more is always better. For one supplement fix many diseases.
Um, you know, the one supplement fixes many diseases is not possible. Like, people think that if I take one multivitamin, everything will be okay. Fine. I mean, the multivitamin could be fantastic, but I always tell people also, whenever they take a supplement, if they do, you've got to cycle a supplement as well, because after a certain time, your body will not absorb that supplement at all. So take a break and then, restart. But this whole thing of one supplement fixing many disease is again not possible, unless like it's probably an omega 3 if you're taking, and because that can reduce inflammation, and if the inflammation is reduced in the body, automatically lots of things can go right. So that is a possibility. But in this statement where I'm saying more is always better and one supplement, I have to say more is always better will have a vote for me, because that is again a statement we need to, a myth we need to break. So I will go with more is always better.
Yeah. More is always better. Or my genes guarantee supplement benefit. A lot of DNA tests and a lot of just DNA research, which can make people believe that some supplements work for them special and so on. I mean, this. Or more is always better.
Um, in this case, if somebody's actually done a whole gene test, I think hats off to them, because understanding your genes right now with our the current lifestyle is very necessary, especially to understand the telomeres, you know, in general, if there's any mutation that is happening. So I think if you're able to, have you done your gene test? Fantastic. And based on your gene test, if you worked with a doctor and the doctor has recommended some supplements to work for you and you're following that regime, hats off to you. I think very well done, because you are, taking care of your health, not somebody else's health. So it's a fantastic um, way to do it. But does it guarantee? I'm saying if you've done that whole study and you worked with a doctor to get the supplement, then yes, the statement is 100% true. And I don't think it's a myth. But if you've not done anything and you just think that, oh, I've got very strong genes and, taking a supplement will work wonders for me, then that is stupidity. But if I have to vote, again, I would say, because the statement is very clear that my understanding that they've done a study, I would say more is always better would still be a statement, I would say.
And the last one, more is always better, or supplements replace a healthy diet.
110 marks or points for supplement replace a healthy diet. Now, that's a myth that has to be busted. That is the myth, misleading people, because supplements can never, ever replace a diet. As the name suggests, it's a supplement. It is not your meal. You cannot pop 10 pills and say, yes, I have met all my dietary requirements. No, you meet your dietary requirements with the food you eat. And if there is anything missing, is when you supplement. So that is why it's a supplement. So I have to say, supplements replace a healthy diet is an absolute stupid myth.
Yeah, let's go with them. What do you say? What about our statistics? So, the worst one is natural mint day. It's very misleading. Then, all supplements are fully regulated. Yeah. Then, the terrible myth that supplements replace a healthy diet. So, our next vote is supplements or food. Well, the most effective way to fix your omega 3 imbalance. Omega 3 is really important, yeah? And most people worldwide have too little omega. There are maps how about this and a lot of information. And so our test is about what a really effective way. So fatty fish twice a week, or diet, just Nordic diet, Japan diet, marine base.
No, marine style diet is good, um, but I don't think it doesn't give you the diversity in general. So, and whereas I believe in having fatty fish twice a week, because of course you get your, omega 3 sources from, I mean, again, make sure that the source of the fish that you eat is also organic, or line caught fish, and not overly, like, gone frozen, and then you're reheating and eating, because it kind of loses its quality, that it the good omega 3 that it has. So, but my vote again here would be for fatty fish twice a week, because it then helps you rotate with other things that you can include, rather than just sticking to a marine style diet.
Marine standard. Wow.
No, I'll go with fatty fish twice a week.
Okay. So, fatty fish twice a week, or so lower omega-6 intake, reducing seed oil, still fatty fish twice a week.
Omega 6 has got very bad name, but I'd say omega 6 is still needed in some levels in our body. Uh, but I don't think it can ever supplement. I mean, just by lowering omega 6 intake, you're not going to increase omega 3 production. So I have to say, still, fatty fish twice a week, you have to do. And then on the other side, lower your omega 6 intake, hand in hand. But vote would be for fatty fish twice a week, because that will have more impact on your health, um, much better than just you looking at lowering your omega 6 intake.
Okay. 64%. Fatty fish twice a week, or some and use alpha lipoic acid.
Mm, oh my God, you put me in a spot right now with this question.
Mhm.
I'm a big believer in consuming flax seeds, chia seeds, because, like I said, flax seeds are very high in phytoestrogens as well. Very good fiber for our body. Again, chia is super good in fiber to keep ourselves, because people only look at protein, protein, protein. We don't look at the fiber, which is extremely essential. So you've got the you like I said, you put me on the spot, because I would say eat fish with some flax seeds on top and some chia seeds is what I would say. Put them together. Uh, so I don't know if I have to vote on this one, and you've got me here. I would still say fatty fish. I would say let's go with fatty fish.
Yeah, fatty fish. Oh, now we're going with supplements with high dose fish oil capsules.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a nutritionist. My initial any recommendation will always be with food. Get it from real food. Only if you think you are tested and you are, your triglycerides are level, or your cholesterol is very high and you need to take an omega 3 supplement, is when I would say, okay, then take your high dose fish oil capsules. And that too, again, just to ensure that your levels come to regular levels. Yeah. And then you stop those supplements and go back to eating your fish. So, no brainer for me. I will say eat fatty fish twice a week.
Yeah, 71%. So, fatty fish twice a week, or plant-free source.
There is this whole thing on eating sea moss, which has become a trend again. I've not tried it yet, because I think I don't have the palate to consume something slimy. I think that is me. I personally, I don't have too much of research on whether um, an algae source can complement what a real food source can do. So, like I said, because of, I think, my whole understanding of, or lack of information, or proof that this works, I would say eat fatty fish. It has much more studied benefit as compared to an algae.
Our winner, fatty fish twice a week. And so, combine strategy with supplements and diet. Fatty fish twice a week, or supplements plus diet.
Ah, again, a very tricky question. I think the supplements plus a diet combined strategy is the way to go. Should you be deficient on something? Like you said, like I said, you always do a blood test. You see if your vitamin D levels are low, you have to supplement it. Because you otherwise it will affect your bone strength. So you you've got to see if there is a deficiency, you supplement, and of course work with your diet simultaneously. that is the one of the best strategies. But very few people actually go get them tested and then take a supplement based on what they need. They just take a pill because it's a supplement. Um, Whereas eating fish twice a week, la la la, blah blah blah, fatty fish is fantastic. But yeah, if from a health perspective, I think with a lot of people not really getting all the nutrition that they need just from food, I think supplement plus a diet combined strategy would be better.
Yeah. First, our arena of fatty fish twice a week for sure. Then, marine style diet
Mhm.
from Japan, Nordic, any with fish balanced. Then, combined strategy, supplements
Mm.
plus diet combined. What omega 3 combination best help you to cope with stress and stay focused?
I have to tell you, there is one option which is missing here. I have to say sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no supplement in this world that can help you cope with stress and help you stay focused than sleep in life. Like,
Yeah, it's a natural way and the
yeah,
best.
it's the best possible way. But if I have to tell you in terms of a supplement that will work well with omega 3, in general, I would say a combination. I would go in with omega 3, magnesium, and vitamin B6, because again, with magnesium, the right magnesium is necessary. So if you're taking a magnesium glycinate along with your omega 3 and vitamin B6, it will help you because magnesium glycinate will work with, releasing and calming down your nervous system down. So help in release of melatonin. So it's a natural neurotransmitter, helps in calming your system down. And yeah, omega 3 is an anti-inflammatory. So it's a very good combination in general. I would say my vote would be for omega 3, magnesium, and vitamin B6 as compared to L-theanine and green tea extract are good. But there is not too much of studies that have been done that can really prove that green tea extract will help. They talk about green tea extract for weight loss generally, but nothing to do with sleep as such. I mean, drink green tea before I sleep every night, but that's just because it's part of my routine. But I don't think there is any major research when it comes to sleep associated with green tea. So I think my vote will be for omega, magnesium, and B6.
Magnesium and B6 wins 41%. Then, this combination, which one is the best? Still magnesium and omega 3 and B6? Or combination with Helen?
Hmm. Interesting. I'll go with omega 3 and choline, because it helps with repairing our cells, and I think that is necessary for overall inflammation. So, and if inflammation is reduced automatically, the stress on your body is lower. So yeah, I think as compared to magnesium, I think it's good to sleep, but from a stress perspective, I think I will go with omega 3 and choline.
Okay, omega 3 and choline win 41% agree. Still omega 3 and choline and then
Curcumin and CoQ10.
yeah.
Oh, curcumin is absolutely important. It's one of the best anti-inflammatory. CoQ10 again is good for cell rejuvenation. So I mean that combination itself is like an anti-inflammatory bomb, I would say. Uh, they're probably fighting a lot with each other, but w- I, I love curcumin. Like I said, I'm a naturopath, and curcumin is something that I would recommend in general. But again, you don't need to take a supplement. You can take curcumin as curcumin itself. Uh, uh, my vote would be for omega 3, curcumin, and CoQ10.
Wow, 51%. Then the very popular combination. oil, omega-3, and curcumin.
Vitamin D is necessary, but vitamin D, uh, I don't think really supports with stress in our body in general. Vitamin D is essential for developing our bone strength. It's very important with that. Uh, but I don't think it does majorly anything for inflammation, and I don't think it supports the stress management. So my vote would still be for omega-3 curcumin and CoQ10.
Yeah, good time. Wow. Ugh, very hard to choose.
Yeah, in this case, I will 100% go with omega 3 and prebiotics and probiotics because we got the vagus nerve, direct combination with the gut and the brain. I mean, there's a no brainer. If you manage the gut, you manage the brain, and automatically, if they both are talking to well each other, all the stress in the life can be managed. So, 110 marks on omega 3 plus probiotics, prebiotics.
Yeah, 100%. Sure.
Yeah. I think, omega, like I said, omega 6 has got the bad name, but our body still requires the omega 6. But I think we do eat some processed food or the other where you end up getting the omega 6 in general. And depending on which phase of life you are in, it can cause more inflammation. But I think, whereas this is a very hot combination, omega 3 and probiotics and prebiotics, I think for me, that is the vote for managing your stress levels.
Yeah.
Because the question is related to stress, I have to say that adaptogens, especially ashwagandha and rhodiola, have a upper hand because they directly work in suppressing our nervous system. So, uh, I think because the question is related to your stress and staying focused, I would say that combination of omega 3 with adaptogens is much stronger. And I think there should be one more adaptogen apart from ashwagandha and rhodiola that is mentioned, which is lion's mane. I think very underestimated, but one of the most powerful mushroom that you can consume to have the brain clarity. So, which is fantastic. So, if you put that combination, I think your focus, your energy, everything is bang on.
Yeah. So, and the first one is going omega-3 and tea extract because
Very good.
mixed with oats vote. The second one is vitamin B6 and magnesium.
Yep.
The king combination, omega-3 and adaptogens.